24-hour game show marathon is back for another record-breaking year. Watch as game show fans recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, all to raise money for Child's Play. Child's Play delivers therapeutic games and technology directly to pediatric hospitals to improve patients' lives through the power of play. Watch the fun Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, and donate now at GameShowMarathon.com.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And it's our job to give you some interesting bits in world of sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long podcast. The perfect meal for your mind. Thank you guys for joining us on another weekly episode. Before we get into all the news at hand in sports, entertainment, and odd news, we like to do a little personal bit, let you know what we've been up to. So, Mikey, how you doing? I see you voted.
Yes, I did.
You officially got your voted sticker on.
I voted. I got my sticker, doing my civic duty.
Very good. I did the absentee ballot.
You did? Nice.
The mail-in ballot.
The mail-in ballot, yeah.
I'm too lazy.
Send
the ballot to me.
I forgot to get my mail-in ballot actually the past couple of elections I've been going in person because see, here's the thing. The polling location for where we are in Ambler is literally right across the street
from
my parents' house. So it's not even like you can't even measure the time it takes to walk there. It's that close. It's like a 1 minute walk. So I just do it in person. But yeah, voted. It was great. I didn't have any cash on hand to buy. They always do like little baked goods, and I felt bad. I was like, oh, shucks.
You heartless person.
I'm always on the lookout for...
How do you not have a couple bucks on you?
I asked the lady, I was like, do you take contactless payment? And she was like this little old lady. And
she's like, what's that contact?
She looked at me and she was like, no.
What's contact?
Yeah, what's contact? I was like, oh, man. So, yeah, no, I didn't get any fresh home-baked goods to support the polling volunteers or whatever the money goes towards. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But does yours do that? Does your polling place do like a little bake sale there?
In the years that I physically went to go vote, yeah, they usually have something set up.
I like that. I
mean, it's a good idea. Everyone's going there.
Yeah. I mean, why not? You know? Yeah. I don't know what the money goes to. I think it might just be the old lady.
So I don't know. One of the best instances of that happening was, I think it might have been Colorado. I don't know. That seems too stereotypical. But the story where they opened up one of the first legalized marijuana stores,
right?
And one of the bake sale or one of the what do you call it? The Girl Scouts. They set up shop right there. It made like the biggest profit ever in Girl Scout history.
I mean, like that makes perfect sense.
You got to think about where you're placing your Girl Scout booths.
There's one that always opens up in front of the Starbucks at the corner of Butler and Ridge. And I'm like, that is a prime location.
Everyone's coming out for coffee.
There's a grocery store. There's Giant right there. And Starbucks.
And a grocery store.
At Butler and Ridge. The amount of people there, they must do crazy sales.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have like a mind for location. Where do I stick this cute little girl so we get the most cookie sales?
Exactly. You gotta play on. You gotta tug on people's heartstrings.
Yeah.
Put the little 6-year-old out in the rain.
Yeah.
You know? That'll sell cookies.
Make her do a little dance or something.
Yeah. Dance for
dance for your cookies.
If you want me to buy the cookies, dance. But no. Anyway, nobody had to dance for me because I didn't buy cookies. But that's what I did. I voted this weekend. I had barbecue. It was delicious from here in Ambler, Lucky Well. It's good stuff.
Oh, very good. Okay. Yeah, Lucky Well is great.
Yeah. They do really. I haven't been there in a few years, but they're still kicking and making fantastic food. So my whole what I've been up to is just food, just various food types.
All right.
Not very thrilling. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I guess we're going to talk about it a little bit later on in the show, but living with a Taylor Swift super fan. Oh my gosh, this weekend was just
because it was the whole Taylor Swift was in Philly.
Boy. Yep, she took over Lincoln Financial Field and she took over the city.
She pulled in bigger crowds than the Eagles, I guess.
She
technically,
did.
So
she got
She filled the link.
Not only she
And
filled
then-
the link, but there was like an overflow.
They had like a concert outside the concert.
Yeah.
Like people in the streets.
Yeah.
It must have been like well over 100,000 people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like all 3 days.
And I mean, I guess for those people, cool, you got a free concert because I mean,
Yeah.
was anybody really going to see
Did you
Taylor Swift?
Did you go down?
No.
Okay.
Rachel did though.
Oh, she did?
Yep, she went down.
Jordan didn't get a chance to go down.
Yeah, Rachel was down there wearing her Taylor Swift
So in the
gear.
in the parking lot or in the stadium?
No, she was lucky. She was one of the
she actually
few-
got tickets? Wow.
Yeah, somehow through the grace of God. I don't know. The grace of Taylor Swift.
I don't know. Apparently, you have to like log into like get in digital line like weeks ahead of time, and like
And you have to sacrifice your firstborn, and
there's like a whole There's like a
Yeah.
whole like series of trials and tribulations you have to go through.
yeah, and yeah, Rachel was there, so she was happy, and she was playing Taylor Swift
Nonstop, probably.
God, yeah, I couldn't. I was like, oh my God, I need to go downstairs. I'm sorry.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
It goes something like that.
There you go. I don't know. I don't know anything about Taylor. I mean, it was everywhere too. Like even like the radio stations I work for, like MGK and MMR, they had to even talk about it.
You can't get away from it. It's
right,
everywhere.
like for like traffic reports and like
Right.
stuff, like you had to talk about it. It was crazy.
Been
She
everywhere.
literally took over the city,
Yeah.
which
I mean, yeah,
live it up, but
to each their own.
yeah,
People like what they like.
I'm officially an old man.
You really are.
I'm just like I've had enough of this. I'm done.
These whippersnappers
They
and their
don't-
music.
Yeah, I don't get it. Go ahead. I don't know. Do whatever
you're
you're.
so old.
Yeah, I just leave me alone in the basement
Oh
with
my god.
with my video games. All right, and my movies. That's all I want to do.
That does sound like a good time.
Yeah. So
Is that what you did?
I did. Yeah,
Nice.
that's pretty much what I did. Yeah.
Nice.
speaking
What video
of
game
that,
are you on?
So I'm going to start God of War.
Okay,
I've made
nice.
that. I made that switch. I need to start God of War.
You've been trying to like catch up on your backlog.
I'm so behind on video games. But for TV, I started Daisy Jones and the Six.
What's that?
It's an Amazon original, but it's basically kind of like a Fleetwood Mac-ish docudrama of a fake band.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. It's like they're doing like the whole fake documentary drama that like
Right.
this band was together once and they put out this incredible record that everybody loved, and then they broke up, and why? What happened? It's like it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
I normally don't check out Amazon originals. They just don't come across my radar that often, but
Yeah,
that does sound pretty interesting.
Look, if you love Fleetwood Mac, a lot of the music's very similar to it. There's a
Nice.
I'll just leave it at that. And the story's very similar to how like Rumors came about. So I don't know if that interests you. I would recommend the show Daisy Jones and the Six.
Awesome. There you go. Good recommendation in the world of TV.
Yeah. So yeah, I've had enough of Taylor Swift.
Oh my god.
I didn't even listen to it. I just had enough of it. It was just all around me. I needed my own music. I needed my own sanctuary to get through this Taylor Swift mayhem.
In the basement.
Yeah,
Well,
in the basement.
you know,
Thank
you didn't get any sanctuary in the world of sports. Rich, should we kick it off?
Oh no, I forgot. Really, we're gonna start off with this?
We got to start off with the sports sampler in general. So let's go.
God.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face! Ha ha!
Oh yeah, boy, it's tough being a Philadelphia fan.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Folks, the process is officially dead.
Yeah.
We can't defend the process anymore. The 76ers officially eliminated from the NBA playoffs again in the second round of the playoffs. They can't get past this Eastern Conference semifinals. This is where they always they tend to just fall apart here, and as well as former head coach Doc Rivers. He's no longer the head coach of the team after this embarrassment.
Yeah. It was bad. So, I mean, they've been to the playoffs 6 straight times, 0 conference finals appearances. They've lost.
And the Sixers have had pretty good teams.
Yeah.
You've had Joel Embiid. You've had Jimmy Butler.
They've always been like the second or third seed, but I say it every year. They make it to the playoffs usually as a third seed, and what do I always say? Before it even starts, they'll lose. In the NBA, if you're not a top 2 seed, you ain't nothing. I know that's not true because
not
Lakers
true
right
anymore.
Now. Yeah.
Don't you say that, Mike.
But for the Sixers,
LeBron James is going to win another damn title this year as a 7th seed.
Hey, man.
Playing 2/3 of the season.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I do. I'm hating everybody. I'm drinking a lot of haterade today.
You really are.
I am.
You're mad at Taylor Swift. You're mad at LeBron James.
Yeah.
Rich, open up your heart to love and peace.
I'll do that when we get to golf.
Okay. But before we
so weird and old.
You really are.
I would rather talk about golf than the Sixers right now.
Let's try to talk about the Sixers, though, because we got to talk. They lost. Doc Rivers got fired.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
That's, I think, everybody. That's me right now. I don't know.
Well,
this was embarrassing. The Sixers,
bad.
First off, going up 3-2, they should have had this series.
Yeah.
Coming back to Philadelphia, I don't know how they didn't
gotta
rally up the troops.
You got to put it away.
Yeah, put it away in that Game 6. And then in Game 7, just they came out so flat, so uninspired.
So
the third quarter of that game, Game 7, the season's on the line. The third quarter of that game, they only scored 10 points.
Yeah.
You have the league MVP. You have 10-time All-Star James Harden, and you can only muster up 10 points in that third quarter. Embarrassing. The Sixers just cursed. They're never gonna. They keep giving us semblances of hope, and then it just never pans out. We've had Allen Iverson. No, doesn't go anywhere. We've had Jimmy Buckets. Doesn't go anywhere. Joel Embiid, MVP season. Doesn't go anywhere. It's just this team's just not meant to have deep success. Thank you, computer.
The computer just wants to off itself. It's like, I want to restart the update every time.
If that's not accuracy, I don't know what it is. Thank you, Microsoft. Thank you for agreeing with me.
Something somewhere just talking about the Sixers killed some process on your computer.
Yes,
it's just offed itself.
I don't want to hear the word process for the next 2 weeks. I said this in a meeting at work the other day. I can't handle the word process right now because obviously the process
does not work.
Has officially failed.
Look, and speaking of the process, I'm going to go back to a topic that I keep touching on, and people disagree with me, and I think I'm right though. I'm just going to say, the reason why this team will never achieve anything or reach any sort of success is because they bred a losing mentality throughout the organization from top to bottom by doing the process. Like, I watched the first half of Game 7, and the amount of times that Joel Embiid is just pulling up to shoot a 3, but and nobody was going for rebounds. Everybody was just kind of waddling around, just kind of there. They felt like they'd given up. This was the first quarter. They felt like they weren't even, they didn't want to be there. It's just it's a loser's mentality. And Jimmy Butler said it.
Yeah, Butler. We should have never let Jimmy Butler go.
When he played here and then he left, he said something along the lines of they're soft or they don't have the fire.
He was right.
And I saw this comment here online. I didn't realize he's been to 3 conference championships after he left the Sixers. The Sixers have been to none.
Jimmy Butler is a dog, and we should have kept him. He would have lit a fire under this team.
Yeah.
But no, instead we went another direction.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's been to 3 conference finals since he left the Sixers.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Sixers have lost.
That's going to go down, I think, as the move that doomed the Sixers. If that team had Jimmy Butler with an MVP season with Joel Embiid, and then Tobias Harris as your third, that should have won at least won the Eastern Conference. But it just,
but alas, it was not to be. Could part of the problem be the coach? I mean, they got rid of him, Doc Rivers. I'm realizing that maybe he was kind of not that great. I mean, in retrospect, in hindsight, of course, everybody's like, well, of course he wasn't great. But do you realize all the NBA records he's set when it comes to losing? So I just saw this today. Interesting statistics here. All NBA records, Doc Rivers has lost 32 closeout games 7 series when leading 3-2.
That doesn't make any damn sense.
10
You're up 3-2.
You're up 3-2. He's lost 7 series.
Yeah.
When he's leading 3-2, he's lost 10 game 7s, and he's lost 12 series when holding the series lead.
Yeah. I think that's
Like,
poor coaching.
Yeah, how do you lose that much that frequently? I don't get it.
No. It was. I think Doc Rivers needed the axe. I think that was the right call there. But it's going to be a rough off season, and one that I don't know. I think you might have to pull the plug.
So right,
This might be.
Here's the question that's floating around in my head: is Joel Embiid just won MVP, but like clearly a team built around a big man is not really what the NBA is all about.
Not these days.
They had him pull up for like 5 or 6 3-pointers at one point, and I'm like,
yeah, why is a center pulling for 5 or 6 threes?
that only works if you flow your offense through your one superstar. If that superstar is a shooter,
Yeah.
like a Steph Curry or a LeBron James or like literally anybody, not Joel Embiid. The days of Shaq are over. It doesn't work that way.
No. And I think this is a very important question. Do the Sixers pull the plug? Do you start over?
Trade Joel Embiid for like 3 first-round picks or whatever.
Joel Embiid is not going to have a higher stock value than right now. He's literally going to be coming off an MVP season.
Yeah. I mean,
Harden's gone. This was the last year of his contract.
Last year.
So he's hitting free agency. He's gone. It's
going to be
dicey.
tough. People are going to want to see Joel Embiid stick around, but you can't build a team around a big guy, especially not the way the Sixers were trying to play that game. Like I said, I watched half of Game 7, and it was just totally uninspired.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be time to officially signal a rebuild.
The process 2.0.
Well, whatever it is, the current process failed. So I don't know if you want to do the process 2.0. I mean, between everything that went wrong with Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz.
I've never seen a team have so many high first round picks just do absolutely nothing. They finally hit on one guy, Joel Embiid, but he's like a center in an era where center's not even really a position anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I know
No,
nothing
you're not
about basketball,
wrong.
but it's all like forwards and like
Yeah.
hybrid positions. It's like football. They're moving towards smaller, faster, high octane. The big man dominating the middle of the key or whatever it's called. It's not a thing.
Yeah,
it's just not a thing.
It's not as strong as it once was. Yeah, you don't have Shaq anymore. You don't have.
There's no Shaq. You don't even really see like an Allen Iverson type like driving to the basket either.
No, they're staying outside.
It's all perimeter shooting.
Yeah, right. Yep, exactly.
So the Sixers are built like 100% wrong.
They're built good. They're built like 10 years ago.
They're building a team to win in 2003.
Yeah.
Not 2023. Get with the times.
Well, this is just very discouraging, and I don't know. It might be the beginning of a rebuild.
Pull the plug. Just do it.
Yeah. I don't know. Because the other option is you actually start. There's going to be some sort of rebuilding anyway.
Some kind of soft reboot or rebuild. You can't say, "Hey, let's do this for the 7th year in a row."
You're not rerunning this again because Harden's out. He's leaving Philly. He's gonna go somewhere.
Well, I mean,
he's not gonna get the max contract.
I mean, clearly it's not working. 6 straight playoff appearances. They've never made it past the semifinals.
Yep.
I mean, back in the day when the Eagles made it to 4 conference championships in a row, it was the conference championships. They had been winning games throughout. The Sixers can't even get to that point. They can't even They can't even stumble at the finish line. They're not even in the race at the end.
Yeah. So it's very discouraging right now to be a Philadelphia fan.
Yeah.
And I think the Sixers might actually be the worst heartbreak. I think. Because they just had so much promise and so much,
I get what you're saying. The Eagles were kind of a surprise.
Right. The Eagles was a nice surprise.
Going into the season, we're like, between 9 and 11 wins. And they ended up being like, I think, the best team in the NFL.
Right.
Even though they lost, ultimately. But
right. It was like, that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Philly's going on their World Series run was also a surprise. I mean, they barely made it into the playoffs and just happened to get hot at the right time. So that was also a surprise.
I don't know. Are the Flyers a thing?
No.
Like, are they still a team?
They're not.
No. Okay. Bring back the Phantoms.
Yeah. The Union, I'm not really a big soccer fan, but it was really cool to see them in the final.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they lost the penalty kicks, but at least they made it all the way to the very bitter end.
Right.
And then you have the Sixers. They have an MVP year.
It's just pathetic.
And they don't even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. There's something wrong with that.
Losing mentality.
Yeah.
They built an organization on losses.
All right, can I get happy now?
Yeah, get happy. Talk about your favorite sport.
Yeah, right now. This is it's my favorite sport.
It's the only thing he's got to look forward to.
Yes,
people.
He's
holding on by a thread, and that thread is a sand wedge.
Yes, it's my favorite sport in the spring summer time of the year.
Right.
Yeah, because that's pretty much it. Anyway,
it's golf.
It's golf time. But we have an update to a story that we've been covering here. PGA versus the Live Golf Tour. We've covered this ever since this started, this little civil war that's been happening in the world of golf.
It's my favorite story because I'm just waiting for the controversy. And it looks like, or not the controversy, but the drama. It looks like we could get some here.
Yeah. To go over the majors again, in the golf world, there's 4 big events. These are the ones you want to win. Every week there's an event, which is all right. Cool. You get to win some money.
But these are
there's 4 big major events. Those are the ones that everybody follows.
They're like title fights or like mini Super Bowls or like they're the big things.
Correct. We just had the first one, the Masters, in April. In May, it is the PGA Championship. Which is actually this upcoming weekend. The interesting thing, though, is in the middle of all this is golf has been split into 2 between the PGA Tour and the new Live Tour from Saudi Arabia that has been just throwing money at all these
hashtag brand new sentence.
Yeah,
every time you say that,
they've just been throwing money at all these golfers to play in their tour. And for a while, PGA was very upset that they were losing these golfers to the other tour, and they were threatening to revoke. Well, actually, they did. They revoked their membership. They said you're never going to play in another PGA event, and they were trying to pressure Augusta to get them banned from the Masters.
Yep.
But since last month, Augusta did allow the Live Tour players to play in the Masters. It seems that the PGA might have officially realized that they have lost this part of the war because they are now doing a 180, and they are now re-allowing the Live Tour golfers to come back and compete in the PGA Championship this weekend. And that's pretty big news because you're talking about people like Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Phil Mickelson.
These are all big names that we've talked about on the podcast before in the golf world. They're not random nobodies.
Correct. Yes. So I think at the end of the day, PGA, I think the PGA Tour realized that if they want to have their own major be just as important as the Masters, you have to allow the same quality of talent, whether they are from the competing tour or not.
If you want to be the best, you have to have the best players there.
Yeah.
So you can't put on a tournament and eliminate, I think you said there's 18 golfers from the Live Tour. You can't have 18 of the top, 50, 100 guys not show up, like a full-on 20% of the best golfers not show up. That doesn't make any sense. But also, just want to say that, we kind of predicted this on the show.
Yeah.
I said, as soon as Liv is invited to Augusta, basically defangs the PGA.
Yeah.
Because it legitimizes the Live Tour. And now the PGA realized that they got to walk back their statements, which, makes them look weak.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And unfortunately, nothing's going to change for the PGA until they implement better policies for their players. The thing that the Live Tour has going for it is the guaranteed money.
Yeah, just throwing money at them.
Just throw money. But, realistically, they're athletes. Every other athlete gets paid a salary. But in golf, you don't get paid unless you place or whatever.
You make the cut. First, you got to make the cut. Yeah, you don't make the cut, you don't get paid.
Right.
And then if you want to have a significant amount of money, you got to finish at the top end of the leaderboard.
Right. But Liv is kind of changing that up by just guaranteeing salaries in general. They're playing it like an actual league, right? Because even the backups to the backups in the NFL and the MLB, they still get paid.
Yep.
Even if they don't take the field, they get paid. So golfers are like, well, we're like a roster. We should get paid, right?
Yep. And that's what the Live Tour is providing.
Yeah. And you can't really fault the Live Tour or the golfers for going for it.
No.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, because the other part of this whole thing is, it's coming from Saudi Arabia money, and you don't know where exactly that's been. But, if you're just a regular golfer on the PGA Tour and you're making peanuts,
right,
and you're scraping by trying to just make a cut, and then all of a sudden the Live Tour comes by and they say, well, we'll give you, $1 million to play 20 events, no matter where you finish.
Yeah,
you're going to take it.
And I mean, in the sports world, that's kind of peanuts. You know? I mean, that's an arbitrary number that you just made up. But I don't think it would cost the PGA that much because they had such a stranglehold, such a monopoly on golf.
Yeah.
They could have very easily have done this, and they kind of just whiffed and let the Live Tour, pull the rug out from under them.
Yeah, I mean, PGA has been the sole number one tour for so long. But it's been a while since they've been challenged like this.
This is why I love this story, because obviously I don't love the Saudi Arabia money. But what I love about it is the challenge to the top dog. And now we have a situation where these live golfers are going to compete in the PGA Championship. Like, what happens? Because you mentioned PGA has a television channel. That's going to air the PGA Championship.
Yeah.
And then a Live Tour golfer maybe wins that championship. So then the PGA channel has to interview a Live Tour member after winning their own event. The drama. It's like
it could be a very interesting post game show,
right? Because it's weird. It's like free advertising for the opponent,
right? And they have to do it. They're going to have to do it.
We talked last week.
You can't just be like, all right, that's it. Tournament's over. Bye.
You just cut to black, like roll credits.
You don't even have the little trophy ceremony. No. They all just walk off. Bye. That's it.
It's last week we talked briefly about wrestling and WWE SmackDown versus Raw. It's like that, but it's like actual different organizations.
Yeah.
Like one could win the title belt from the other. It's so weird.
Right. It's something
and I'm here for it. I need this to happen. I need a Live Tour golf member to win the PGA Championship.
Well, it could happen this weekend.
I always said, everybody knows if they've watched the podcast for a long time, I've always said golf needs something to spice it up. They need windmills, or they need like some kind of trick shot, battle golf, speed golf. This is just as good. This might be it. Primetime drama golf.
So yeah, you need to root for the Live Tour golfers.
Oh, absolutely.
Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau.
I like a good heel.
Yeah. So this might be it. Can a Live? That would be a very awkward scene at the end of the match to see.
Like, what do they do?
Yeah, a Live Tour member holding up the PGA Championship.
It's going to be weird.
Yeah, it might happen this weekend. So something to keep an eye on this upcoming weekend. All right, so there you go. And I know, Mike, we've been hiding football from you.
It's been painful.
There's a couple of football news that we want to cover. So let's do it real quick in a 3-minute drill. You ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
There you go. What do you want to talk about?
All right. Well, in the 3-minute drill, we got a couple of football stories. First up, former Atlanta Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan announces that he will be joining CBS as an analyst. However, he also made it clear that this is not a retirement announcement. So he's not retired, but he's going to be an analyst. I know it won't happen, but I really want to see a game where a quarterback goes down and Matt Ryan just slaps his pads on and rushes down onto the field like some kind of weird Disney movie moment.
What's going to happen is the quarterback's going to go down. He's going to run down and talk to the coach and the GM and be like, I'll play for you next week. You know?
It's so weird. I mean,
he specifically mentioned in the announcement that he's joining CBS, that he is not retiring. Like, he specifically called it out. It's really weird.
It is weird, but this isn't a completely new trend because, correct me if I'm wrong, like Jason Witten and Rob Gronkowski kind of did similar things, right?
Yeah, but they didn't actually say like, oh, but I'm not retired. Like, they just kind of went with the flow, which is what you should be doing.
Right.
Like, it just seemed very odd that Matt Ryan specifically made that, like,
This is not
addendum.
It's like an ad. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not retired. Other 31 teams.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like part advertising, yeah.
Right. Which is weird because, I don't know, Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, I never bought into the whole Matty Ice thing. Like, maybe
Well,
Matty melted ice.
Well,
He
definitely
never-
not recently. Yeah, he
Yeah.
hasn't been putting up the same numbers as he used to.
He was all numbers, but no substance, kind of like other quarterbacks out there.
Yep.
Will go unnamed from the Minnesota Vikings. In other football news, the Philadelphia Eagles got a huge boost to their fan numbers. We talked about it earlier because superstar Taylor Swift had 3 concerts in Philly where she officially confirmed that she is, in fact, a lifelong Eagles fan. But I don't know
Yeah.
why people were surprised.
Yeah, I don't know why this is like a surprising headline. I mean,
she's not from Tennessee. She's from, like, where does it was like Reading.
I think
or,
it's Reading.
Is it Reading or
somewhere out
Allentown? I
there.
can't remember.
I don't think it's Allentown.
But like somewhere in the general, like, southeastern Pennsylvania
Yeah,
region.
right. So
Kind
it
of.
makes sense you would be an Eagles fan.
Yeah. Everyone was like, oh my God, shocker. I'm like, really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
know.
I guess for some people that's
You know what?
Not-
The 120,000 plus people there, they're not necessarily football fans. They're Taylor Swift fans.
right.
So for them, it's like earth-shaking news that somebody from the Philadelphia region would be a Philadelphia fan.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different worlds, man. Different worlds.
It is. But I guess there was one thing in common. They were all together at Lincoln Financial Field.
It's a
So,
special moment.
yeah. So there you go. That would put the two of those universes together. So.
And that was actual audio of Rich screaming this past weekend at all
Yeah.
the Taylor Swift news.
Dear God, so much Taylor Swift news. All right, is that officially done? Can we not talk about Taylor Swift now?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord. All right, so there we go. We
You
can.
really are so old and so ornery.
I don't get it. Anyway, I just don't get it. I'm sorry.
Rich, it sounds like you need a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. We need to take a little bit of a break after all of the sports news that just didn't live up to the hype
No.
between the Sixers and Matt Ryan and Taylor Swift.
3 letdowns for Rich.
3 letdowns. 0 for 3.
Oh, no.
Yeah, all of those stories. But we'll be much happier when we come back because we got the entertainment entree and then the non-fortune cookie odd news as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
The 24-hour Game Show Marathon is back for another record-breaking year. Watch as Game Show fans recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, all to raise money for Child's Play. Child's Play delivers therapeutic games and technology directly to pediatric hospitals to improve patients' lives through the power of play. Watch the fun Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, and donate now at GameShowMarathon.com.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 in the morning, this is what you're going to get.
That clip is already coming into play.
Yes,
I love it.
already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on? That was
I don't
weird.
know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh, my God.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what
you-
medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Oh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah.
The 24-hour Game Show Marathon is back for another record-breaking year. Watch as Game Show fans recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, all to raise money for Child's Play. Child's Play delivers therapeutic games and technology directly to pediatric hospitals to improve patients' lives through the power of play. Watch the fun Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, and donate now at GameShowMarathon.com.
Yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle podcast. Yeah, we needed to get... It's been a rough year for Philadelphia sports, so we need to get out of those sports samplers as fast as we can, get into a break, recover, rejuvenate, and get ready for the next parts of the show, including the next part where we're going to talk about movies, TV, and video games in Entertainment Entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the Entertainment Entree.
All right, Entertainment Entree time. And we're going to start off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with movies, TV, and video games in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, so other than the PGA Championship, what should people keep an eye out for this weekend?
Well, if you're not interested in watching ancient golfers compete, you can watch something else ancient by tuning into Apple TV Plus to check out Prehistoric Planet Season 2, coming to the streaming service on Monday, May 22nd. This is a fantastic series. I loved Season 1. The pitch is simple. It's planet Earth meets dinosaurs. I mean, that's really it.
You love your dinosaurs.
I love my dinosaurs. But what makes this series unique is that it takes cutting-edge technology to create some of the most visually stunning dinosaurs, but also some of the most scientifically accurate dinosaurs ever seen as well. They're taking the latest paleontological findings and they're recreating these dinosaurs in as we know now, the most accurate depiction, with full feathers and, different ways of walking and different postures and, imagining them, how they would have looked and how they also would have behaved. They have unique perspectives on, like, uncovering things like T-Rexes swimming or like Brachiosauruses fighting. Like, these are things these animals would have done when they lived here on the Earth. And so it's a really unique, interesting take on dinosaurs, more than just like big scary lizard eats smaller scary lizard. David Attenborough narrates the entire thing, and viewers get 1 episode per day throughout the week, so make sure you check that out. That's Prehistoric Planet Season 2 on Apple TV+. In video games, something a little bit fun for the whole family, Lego 2K Drive comes to all major current and previous gen consoles and PC this week, and it is a huge win for gamers who like to play local multiplayer. It is an open-world Lego racing game that features full split-screen co-op for both the story mode and competitive racing modes, and it looks really interesting. You get to build your own cars, and it's like Mario Kart meets an open-world Lego game, where as you're racing, if you race over different terrain, your car will rebuild itself into a different form. So if you launch off a ramp and you land in a lake, it morphs into a boat, and then it launches off another ramp, and maybe you land on an off-road section, it turns into an ATV, and you get to design all these different versions of your vehicle, apply different stat boosts, and it's all in a weird racing open world where you can take on little like missions, like blowing up a certain number of buildings, or racing around a certain thing a certain way. It's a really interesting...
Yeah, so it sounds like Lego Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's Lego Mario Kart, and again, the full thing is split-screen co-op, so if you have kids or you have significant others who maybe aren't into video games but want to get them involved somehow, this is the perfect way to do it. Simple Lego, arcade racing. That's Lego 2K Drive on all major current and previous gen consoles and PC, coming out this week. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, so there you go. Thank you for that segment, Mike's This Week in Entertainment. We have a big story that we've been following on for the last couple of weeks, and that is the Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, everything being merged into one gigantic video game conglomerate.
Yeah, so Microsoft is trying to buy Activision Blizzard, the developers of big games like Call of Duty, I can't remember any of them now, Overwatch, Diablo, like lots of big franchise type games. Then the concern here, of course, amongst gamers is that this continued consolidation limits competition, and it removes games from your console of choice. If you're on Switch or you're on PlayStation, all of a sudden these games could potentially disappear from your consoles for the future. And Microsoft has been going through a lot of regulatory hurdles to try and get this deal okayed, because obviously it's bordering on monopoly.
Yeah.
So a lot of these regulatory bodies are like, hold the phone here. They're going to take a closer look at it. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we reported that they, were struck down by the UK's Competition and Market Authority. However, in the general European Union, the European Commission approved the acquisition. So if you want to do a scoreboard style, it's 1 for, 1 against. This is now, it's getting a little bit dicey now, because now the last great hope is the United States FTC hearings in August. I feel like we know which way that's going to go.
Yeah.
I don't hold out a lot of hope.
No.
So it really comes down to, if Microsoft gets the okay from the FTC in the US, they just need to convince the UK to give them the green light, and then the deal goes through. But here's what the European Commission found. Some interesting findings. They said that the acquisition wouldn't provide incentive to refuse distributing games on PlayStation consoles. And I feel like that's just patently inaccurate.
Yeah.
Why? Like, I don't think they understand video games.
Right. So basically what they're saying is, Call of Duty, guess what? You can only play that on Xbox now.
Right.
Sorry, you don't have the right console. Microsoft owns it now.
But apparently the European Commission doesn't see a problem with that. They said that the deal doesn't provide incentive for them to do that. But that's why Microsoft is doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
why else would they be doing it?
I mean, some people out there think that Microsoft will put all the games on all the consoles. And I've said things in the past. I think that Microsoft is interested in services, not games. But it's a very convoluted mess. But another finding of the European Commission is that Microsoft... what did I write here? Oh, sorry. If Microsoft...
Your notes.
I'm like, these notes don't make sense. If Microsoft did withhold games, so one, they don't believe that it would provide incentive for them to do it. But if they did withhold games, it wouldn't harm the console market. But that is also, I think, not accurate.
Yeah, that's why you didn't understand your own sentence, because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, it doesn't make any sense because it would, I think, harm the console market because the majority of video gamers are not, like, we're in the minority where we're like God of War, Last of Us, like these narrative-driven games. Those are popular, but the most popular games are Call of Duty, Overwatch, Diablo, like those like classic games that everybody plays.
Yep.
Right? So it would harm Sony in a way to lose that player base. But the big one here, I'm going to skip to the last one here because this is the head scratcher, because the European Commission is like, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. But then they openly admit that if Microsoft did acquire Activision and make their games exclusive, that it would actively harm the growth of cloud service markets. So they're acknowledging that this type of consolidation would harm cloud gaming and like that emerging market, but I guess they just don't care.
That sounds about right. That sounds about par for the course. Like,
in one breath, they're like, oh, it's not that big a deal. But then they're like, but it could harm the growth of an entire market space. It's very, very odd to me, very worrying. I think consolidation in games is a problem in general because it reduces competition. And, you know, it's just not very player friendly. It's not very consumer friendly.
No, it's not going the end where this ends up won't be. Yeah.
Right. Because what happens is, you know, Microsoft makes this deal with Activision and they remove all the Activision games, not only from PlayStation and Switch, but also from Steam, the Epic Games Store. It's only available on Microsoft, whatever their online service is, their cloud gaming service, because then Microsoft owns the servers, the service, the games, and the devices.
Yeah, vertical monopoly.
I mean, right. What does that sound like to everybody?
Yep.
I don't understand. There's no way to slice this where it doesn't look bad.
Right. I don't understand how anybody could see that and say, "Oh, that's not going to be damaging to the video game market."
Yeah, you're putting the entire line in under one umbrella. They are service provider, device manufacturer, distributor. They're everything.
Yeah.
So it's like going back to the industrial the Industrial Revolution, where it's just these what were they? What was the name for them? Why can't I remember?
What, the vertical monopolies?
No, the robber barons.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh, you're really digging up the terms now.
Yeah, that's why it took me a minute. So just really troubling stuff coming out of the world of video games could completely change the landscape for your console of choice. But the thing that I find interesting is at the same time that this is happening, Xbox head Phil Spencer is also doing an interview on Kind of Funny Games where he candidly admits that Microsoft lost the console wars. And this has been getting a lot of press too. Some of these choice quotes, he's basically admitting that Xbox messed up and there's no coming back from it. He said on basically not being able to compete, he said, quote, "We're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. It's just the truth of the matter when you're third place in the console marketplace and the top two players are as strong as they are." And then he had this to say on losing at the worst possible time. He said, "It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Now, what do you make of these first two quotes here, and just candidly saying, yeah, we lost?
Yeah, I mean, that's bold. It's a bold maneuver to outright admit that your company lost.
Yeah.
Let's see how it pays off, Cotton, because I imagine that's not going to help confidence in investing in Microsoft.
It's a unique strategy. They might lose a little bit of investing, but me being a cynical person is reading between the lines here, where at the same time they're fighting with these regulatory bodies, you have the head of the video game division say, we can't compete. We barely have any games out there. Our console sucks. Do you see what they're doing here, folks?
Trying to play both sides.
They're trying to say, like, oh, we're just the last place guy. It wouldn't be a monopoly if we bought the single biggest video game developer and publisher.
Yeah. Well, it's not your fault. It's not our fault that you made a subpar console compared to PlayStation and Nintendo.
It's just, I think it's very interesting timing. I think they're putting these quotes out there so that when we get to August and their battle with the FTC, like, look, we admit that we lost. You can't be a monopoly if you're in third place.
You can, though, if you make a maneuver to buy a substantial entity and jump back into first.
Right. They're just buying the race. They're not even going to run it. They're just buying it.
Yeah.
You know? But it also opens up the possibility. I wonder if, again, going back to this concept of Xbox not being interested in games, but being interested in services, because we've said before that that's kind of where everything is going. They want to shift things to a service like subscription model, right?
Yep.
Where you're not buying games, you're buying the service, the subscription you pay for every single year, right? And you're staying in their marketplace and you're using their features and their services, and they want you to be in their ecosystem. The trick is getting this service and system onto other consoles, because as long as Sony is making first-party games and Nintendo's making first-party games, there's always going to be a place for those consoles. And Microsoft can't really get into those markets, so they're trying to kind of buy up what Nintendo and Sony don't already own to try and make some headway there.
Yep.
But I disagree with Phil Spencer on, making great games, or, if you make great games, people aren't going to buy the console. That's just not true.
No.
That's what Xbox fans have been begging for. They've been waiting for exclusives. And, I feel like I'm pretty tapped into the conversations and you see online where people are like waiting and waiting and waiting for the next big thing on Xbox. They're like, we have no games to play. We have no games to play. If it's not, Call of Duty or Madden, there's just nothing on the console. Whereas you look across the way to PlayStation, they got The Last of Us, Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon. It's just like big hit after big hit. And I think that is a major selling point for PlayStation consoles. It's like, that's where you go for these amazing experiences. It is what made PlayStation in the PlayStation 4 generation.
Yeah.
That's what brought the PlayStation 3 back from last place, was games like The Last of Us, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's how you had to play it. You could only get it on PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think that Phil Spencer's wrong. I think he's wrong when he says that. I love this last quote. He says, quote, "There is no world where Starfield is an 11 out of 10 and people are selling their PlayStation 5. It's not going to happen." But I think, again, people aren't going to sell their PlayStation 5s. He's right, but they're going to buy Xboxes maybe to play the game. Lots of people out there have multiple consoles.
Yeah. That's going to happen. You're going to drive the market into being multi-console. And that's just more money wasted on the average that the average consumer is going to have to shell out if they want to play their games of choice. It's not fair.
No, it's not fair. But yeah, just very interesting happenings here with Microsoft and Xbox and this ongoing battle. And I got to say, it's looking more and more likely that this deal is probably going to go through, and it's going to be really disappointing because there's going to be a lot of gamers out there that are going to be stranded and either forced to buy an Xbox, which is what they want, they're making it seem like that's not what they want. That's clearly what they want. Or just not be able to play the games that they love. And that really sucks.
Yeah.
You know? Like, this move wouldn't impact me specifically all that much. But think about how many... I mean, think about the downside of if PlayStation loses lots of its players, it means they have less revenue through which to build those games we love to play. The reason why they can afford to make The Last of Us and Horizon and God of War is because they're the leader in the console space. But if all of a sudden players start abandoning the console because they can't play Call of Duty with their buddies, you know, it's the money from that funds God of War and Last of Us
Or
projects.
You know, there's or how about just like like the common 10 or 11-year-old that's playing Overwatch or one of those other massive games,
right?
And if Microsoft buys it, well, guess what? Now it's not available on Nintendo anymore.
Right.
Like, that sucks for that kid.
Yeah, now you either got to go buy another console or you just can't play with your friends anymore.
Yeah. So it's got bad news written all over it.
Yeah, like, I don't see a positive for gamers.
Other than Microsoft.
Right. I can see a positive for Microsoft,
Yeah.
but, like, for the average gamer...
It raises all their stock prices very well.
Exactly, yeah. But for the average gamer out there, this does not... If you're an Xbox fan and you're excited, I hate to break it to you, this is only going to make things, I think, worse. And I kind of see this argument sometimes. People are like, oh, well, Sony buys companies too, because we're, like, kind of Sony fans here. Sony buying companies is different. They buy companies that they work with for years. Like, they bought Insomniac, who made Spider-Man, right?
Yep.
But Insomniac has been making PlayStation exclusive games since Spyro the Dragon on PlayStation 1.
And also, they eventually released those to Steam. So there is a PC option.
There's a PC option, right? Exactly. Spider-Man is available on Steam. You're absolutely right. But Sony worked exclusively with a developer for decades, also releases its games on Steam, and then, yes, did acquire them after building a relationship. They're not just buying big established companies.
Yeah.
That's just like gobbling up stuff, right? Microsoft isn't putting in the work, which bugs me.
Yeah, it's just acquisition after acquisition for the sake of acquisition after acquisition.
Yeah. There's nothing positive there.
So there you go.
A little dramatic.
Yeah, a little bit. Boy, every topic I feel like we've talked about has had a negative or pessimistic connotation to it this episode.
Can we turn things around in this final segment of the show?
I think so, because it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Mandada bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo on news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news here in this segment. Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to and why? Why, Rich?
All right.
That's always my question.
I think we've been dancing away from our good old our good old fountain of youth, where it comes to with Florida. So we need to head back home to Florida.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
The fountain of youth when it comes to odd news. They just constantly just...
It's like putting on a well-worn glove.
Yep.
It just fits so wonderfully.
Yep. I've got 2 mini stories here.
Okay, love it.
Yep, and this first one has to deal with a great excuse here.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the case of 34-year-old Asensio Barrera.
Oh, what a name.
Asensio.
Sounds
like a command. Asensio.
It's like a spell.
Yeah,
it's
like
Harry
a
Potter.
spell.
Asensio. Like Wingardium Asensio.
Is that a spell? It sounds like a spell in Hogwarts Legacy.
Is this person pure magic?
Yeah, I mean he might be after this story. So police had to pull over Asensio Barrera in Clearwater, Florida. He was initially arrested for driving with a permanently revoked license.
Whoops.
Wow, permanently revoked.
Yikes.
You don't get any...
What did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do that bad that got it permanently revoked? I mean, like, how many strikes do you have to have?
Okay, so he's had multiple DUI charges.
Okay.
So that's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. We've had stories though where people have had like tons of charges and still not gotten their license permanently revoked.
Yeah, but you can't mess around with multiple DUI charges.
Yeah.
You got to stop that. Come on.
You got to stop that.
Stop committing crime.
It doesn't seem like that hard a thing to do.
Yeah.
Just don't do bad things.
Yeah. But alas, he was driving this car. even though he's permanently revoked for getting a driver's license, still driving a car. So cops pulled him over. During a search of his car, they found a large clear bag that contained a mixture in it.
Uh-oh.
When asked what it was, Asensio Barrera reportedly said that it was a gift from him from Guatemala and that it was his family's secret recipe for chili powder.
Okay.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
It's about to get all stupid up in here!
Why does he just have a random baggie filled with quote-unquote chili powder?
Also, isn't chili powder red? Like, what? That wouldn't match up. Unless
so wait.
My secret family formula changes the color
color,
of the
right.
powder to
So
a mysterious white.
I was going to say, I assume the powder was white.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there is like...
Is there a white chili powder?
There's a white pepper, but chilies are like either green or red, right? I don't think you can get white chilies.
No. And I don't know what cooking scenario would get you a white chili powder.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, clearly it's not.
It's so rare. Only my family knows about it.
Right, exactly. It's very, very secret, this family recipe.
Yeah.
Nobody else in the entire history of the world has figured it out.
No. It's an old family recipe.
White chili powder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old Skinner family recipe.
Steamed hams.
You have white powder in a bag in a car that was pulled over by the police in Florida with a permanently revoked license.
May I taste it? No. That's a Simpsons reference.
Yes.
Go check it out.
Yes. They should somehow, I don't know, incorporate this.
Absolutely. Everything should be modified to fit within the steamed hams clip from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
That's an official edict from the Crispy Noodle.
Correct. If we were in charge of the world, yes.
Yes.
Well, guess what? It was tested. And it came up as positive for heroin. So, yeah, there was no family recipe here.
The evidence has been falsified.
There is definitely evidence falsified here.
The
evidence has been falsified.
It's spicy, but the wrong kind of spicy.
Yeah, no. So, along with the fact that he was driving with a permanently revoked license, he's going to be hit with a narcotics trafficking charge. Which The combined bond that he faces is $55,000, and he'll have to settle up his prison sentence in court because I imagine he's not going to be out for a while.
Yeah.
That's two pretty big charges.
I want to know how large this bag was because as we're talking and I'm thinking about it, I just want to know, like, it'd be hilarious if it was like a large amount because I'm just imagining like
in the police report, I have the information for you actually. It says 30 grams.
30 grams. Oh, that's not that much. That's small.
That's small? Okay.
Yeah.
So
because 30 grams is small. That's not even enough. That's not enough chili powder if that were supposed to be chili powder.
It's very potent.
You don't need a lot.
Right.
Just a pinch.
That's why it's white. It's very, very potent.
Right. Exactly.
It's not your red chili powder.
The peppers are so hot they're white hot.
Yeah, they're white hot.
They're white hot.
Where do you think that expression comes from?
Right.
It's my family's recipe.
Look, officer, you can't blame me if you're stupid and you just don't know your chili.
Yeah. All right.
You know?
It's my family's recipe.
Right. Exactly. Are you telling me that I'm a liar?
How dare you?
That my family recipe is wrong?
It's been passed down from generation to generation.
My grandmama roasted her own white chilies.
I just love that he thought he could pass it off as a family chili
Why
powder.
not sugar?
Yeah,
why not salt?
Yeah, things that are normally white or could have been confused.
Why not talcum powder? Why
family
not?
Recipe talcum powder?
No, I mean just any white powder.
I thought you were talking about your family recipe.
Ah, yes. Grandmama with her famous talcum powder recipe. Delicious.
Yep. Eat it, you gobble it up, and then you throw some on you. You're great. You're good for the whole
Grandmama
day.
used to sprinkle some talcum powder on saltines. It was my favorite after-school snack.
Yeah.
I can't think of a drier snack.
Yep. So that could have been an option.
Anything. Sugar, salt, literally anything.
Yeah.
Talcum powder. What else? Baking soda. Baking powder.
Yeah. Why don't you start off with white materials and then try and work your lie from that instead of just going
He went with chili powder, the thing that is stereotypically bright red.
Yeah. Except for that this time, nope.
Right, no.
This is white hot family recipe.
White hot family recipe
from
chili powder.
Asensio Barrera. Barrera's family recipe.
Barrera's famous white chili powder.
That does sound like a supermarket name for chili powder.
If I saw that at a supermarket, I'd be like, oh, that sounds good.
Yep, the Barrera family recipe.
Just need a pinch.
That's all you
just a pinch gets you there.
You only have 30 grams of this.
Right.
So, yeah, you can only take a pinch.
It's small batch.
Yeah.
Only sold at farmers markets.
Yep.
I love it.
So, there you go. Our first story there. But you know what? Florida decided to gift us with another one. Done. Twice as nice.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
All right, so you know what? We've had now a weird excuse. Let's go back to even more traditional Florida.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the case of 51-year-old Christopher Harris.
I'm 50. 50 years old.
Close, 51.
Close enough.
Yeah. He's close. Not quite there, but he went a little bit past.
He's in the ballpark.
He did a couple extra kicks.
Right.
I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50. 50 years old.
Well, he got his kicks in another way in this story. Florida police were summoned to a hotel called the Palms.
Okay.
Interesting name.
Like palm trees?
Palms? The Palms. Yeah. I'm going to the Palms.
Sounds very fancy.
Well, they have a pool. That's pretty much it. And
there's just the Palms in Florida. It's a hotel.
In Clearwater.
In Clearwater. Okay. I just want to look it up and see how fancy this place. It's probably not fancy.
Well, Florida police were called to this hotel, the Palms in Clearwater, Florida, on Sunday night because 51-year-old Christopher Harris decided that he was going to touch himself on the balcony.
Nope, that's bad.
of one of the residences in this hotel.
The thing's not working.
Oh my gosh. Mr. Erotic guy left the building.
Oh no.
When did that happen? I am not made aware of this.
Oh well. Oh, that's erotic. Yes.
I'm in the...
What are you doing?
I was just trying another sound effect. All right. So, I guess the old guy's left the building.
Oh no, it's the second grade iPad fire.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. Why would just another sound effect work?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay, so
Rich is having technical difficulties with the iPad.
Yeah, apparently
You
one
can't play
specific
the erotic clip.
Yeah, the erotic clip won't work.
That was the clip we had the question about recently. Wasn't it?
No, it was the nastiness clip.
Oh, it was nastiness. That
was the one last week.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
I mean, that clip fits.
Yeah, so that works. There we go. We're good there. I'm just curious as to why my one button won't work. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I could just try to mimic it. Oh yes, it was erotic, very erotic. I mean, that was close enough.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
You can just clip that and put that on the button,
right,
or make a new button. Oh yes, that's erotic, very erotic. Yes. I don't know. I think I'm combining two. I'm combining two.
Now you're mixing Mr. Erotic with the nastiness guy.
With the nastiness, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. So we might have to run with that now.
Look, it's my own take on it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the cover version.
Yeah, it's a cover band. There you go.
So this guy is just whacking it on the balcony.
Yes, but he's on the balcony. But apparently, the reason why he was caught was not because he was on the balcony. Instead, police officers note in the report that he was caught because he streamed the Bluetooth on his cell phone while playing a pornographic video to the sound system that was blaring at the pool.
Yes. Yes.
Take your damn clothes off.
So there's just kids in the pool. They're just having a good time. They're little water wingies, and it's just like, ah.
Something just came over me, and I took my clothes off.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Just streaming it right directly into...
You gotta password protect your Bluetooth things. Like, you gotta make sure people can't connect to them.
I'm surprised the hotel didn't have a password on it or something.
Because it's probably just some, 18-year-old setting it up, minimum wage. They don't care, you know?
It just doesn't care.
Just doesn't care. Just open up to everybody.
Wow.
Oh, man.
The hotel, which claims itself as a Mediterranean oasis, had police officers there to arrest Christopher Harris. The video was set on the fullest loud setting as multiple people heard it on the pool level and in the hotel level.
Oh
so
my God.
It actually made it through.
That was some.
If you had a hotel room on the floor of the pool, you still heard it.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's a loud porno.
Yeah. What porno are you watching, by the way?
You just crank it up to 11.
Yeah.
That's ballsy.
Yeah. Also, why wouldn't you? I don't know. Just self-awareness. Wouldn't you pause it and be like, "Oh God, I'm sorry," or
I think he probably wanted to do it, right?
At this rate, it must have been he got off on it or something.
Oh, it has to be. That's why he was on the balcony. He's like, "Ooh, exhibition," and then also, I don't know why playing the audio would. I don't know. He just wanted to be more obvious. He wanted to be as obvious as possible. He wanted to be caught.
Yeah. So after being read his rights and being escorted into a cop car, he admitted that he likes to play with himself. Oh boy! But what a winner!
Wow, that's a headline.
Something just came over me, and I took my clothes off.
And that he enjoys doing stupid things. That's in the police report.
Well, I mean, that was pretty stupid.
Yep.
It was pretty stupid.
He was officially arrested for exposure of sexual organs.
Yeah.
But that's a misdemeanor, so he was released from the county jail. So there you go. He's back out.
So you can just flop it out anywhere.
Yeah, he's back
it's
out.
like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, he's back out enjoying the night.
Yeah. He's back on the balcony.
Various balconies and pools and speakers.
so gross.
Yeah.
Oh. It just plays it over the speakers.
Yeah.
I really
Password protection. Come on, people.
Man, guys.
Very important here.
I'm just really curious to know about the content of the audio. You know? Like what kind of video, like what was screaming out across the courtyard?
It must have been like one of those like I'm trying not to be too explicit.
Be too graphic.
But like, you know, when like it's so obvious it's a porno.
Yeah.
Like everything is like cranked up in the porno to like 11.
Everyone's like, like
yeah, I didn't want to go there, but yeah, exactly like that.
People are shrieking.
Yeah, like come on.
Yeah,
you're really laying on the.
They're really hamming it up.
Yeah, you might be kidding. That's a very double entendre way of saying hamming it up. But yeah, like they're really
going for it.
Yeah, and it's almost to the point where you're like, okay,
it's like clearly fake.
Take a chill pill. All right, yeah. It's not
too much.
It's not that good.
It's like all right. So calm down there.
Yeah, calm down, lady. It's not,
do less.
Yeah, less. Sometimes less is more.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Except for this guy. Apparently, this guy gets off on the loudest materials.
Yeah. Does it need to be loud? Maybe he's deaf. You said he's 50. maybe it's just hard of hearing. I can't hear the dang sexy times. I'm gonna put it on my Bluetooth speaker, but he tapped the wrong Bluetooth speaker. Oh no!
What are they saying on there?
I can't hear the dialogue. I don't understand this damn story.
I didn't hear what they're saying.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
There's the old guy.
It was erotic.
I think this might be the first time and actually a sound clip actually went off to do the odd news and then came back. Like the old guy might actually have done this story.
Yeah.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
I need to know what the hell happened there.
I don't know. He had to step away. He had to step out onto the balcony.
Yeah. He had to go enjoy his erotic moment.
But I like the new narrative that he was just hard of hearing.
Yeah.
Look, he can't... Like, it's hard for him to do the deed when he doesn't understand the plot. So he needs to be able to hear it so he can keep up with the characters and their drama. You know?
It's all about the plot.
It's all about the plot.
Oh, boy.
That's the only reason to watch it. You know, it's these thrilling character dramas. You got to understand this and understand the struggle.
All right. Well, there you go. Now we know what Mikey searches for.
It's like when people read Playboy for the articles, right?
Yep. So there you go. Now we know what Mike searches for when he's, trying to find those materials. And with that, that officially will wrap up this episode. Boy, what a run! What a gauntlet of emotions we've been through.
It was what a wild ride.
Yeah, I've been an old man. I've been angry. I've been disappointed.
Are you old enough to accidentally play your porn audio through the hotel speakers?
I don't think so, but who knows at this point?
Who knows?
Yeah,
it's only a matter of time.
And Mike watches it for the plot.
You gotta watch for the plot, man.
So
I'm all about the drama. Will they? Won't they? Who knows?
Will they scream? Will they not scream?
Oh my gosh!
Find out at this Clearwater hotel. So there you go. 2 Florida odd news stories. Florida coming back with a vengeance. And with that, we officially need to start wrapping this episode up. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for enjoying our podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media, Hullabaloo, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get every episode that gets released every week into your hands, whether that is through our YouTube channel where you just hit subscribe, whether that's through Facebook Watch, you can watch us right on Facebook, or if it's on Spotify where you can get every episode on your Spotify feed. Video podcast as well is available on Spotify. Also, as well, you can listen to us in the background on Spotify as an audio-only podcast as well, and therefore you can bring us on the go with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So plenty of ways So plenty of ways that you can keep in touch with our podcast that gets released every week.
That's right. Lots of ways to check out the Crispy Noodle podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Twitter. Let us know what's happening, and if there's a topic you want us to cover on next week's episode, send it our way. If it's odd news, send it my way so Mikey doesn't see it. But nevertheless, we'll take it under consideration, and we might give you a sausage shout-out if we do so. So there you go. With that, let's wrap this episode up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.